Oh, hi, everybody. You were expecting some voices like, yes, me. I was promised this intro. Hi, I'm your guest star, Natara, your lovely tracker for this evening, and I'm invading to give you this lovely intro. We are going to be actually commentated by the lovely Crimson Avex and the Green Leaf Effect. Good luck, everybody. You're going to need it probably more than the runners, and I'm going to hand it over to them.
I do want to point out that she called me lovely TG.
I was just going to say, I knew you were going to do that.
So yeah, tonight we do have one of our bracket races between DarkPaladin and fcoughlin. Fred being the 24 seed, DarkPaladin being the 9 seed. DarkPaladin finished with 4-1 record. Fred with 3-2, and Fred was the only 3-2 in his grouping of strength and schedule that did not have to do a plane race, so he already lucked out a little bit.
Numbers are telling me correct.
Yeah, I believe right now it is slightly in favor of DarkPaladin, 22-18, according to our bracketology expert lead streamer that told us that earlier. So we're just going with those numbers. And both of them actually consider themselves the underdogs, so that should be entertaining in itself.
I'm just gonna pop in for a moment. Currently, they can't hear you because the music's too loud.
Well, they can hear us now because the music's
Yes, they can. Welcome back, everybody.
We've got an old man start here. We've got Yang, we've got Sid, and we've got a blue rogue here in Baron Castle. 50% chance that's a free fight, 50% chance that's a gauntlet.
Honestly, that's when you hope for Gauntlet with a Baron Key coming very, very late that is required, because then it's just a time waste, and, well, that wouldn't be a surprise.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm full down for any and all time sinks, but we're going to get our objectives here in a minute. They'll be popping up on your screen. You will know them when we know them, so you will get our reactions in real time.
Yes, that was way too fast, and I'm not going to bother reading those.
I did see launch the lunar whale. I did see the whale.
Okay, so we do have a slight divergence early on. Fred is going ahead and checking out the Baron area, while DarkPaladin is going right up to the looting area and is going to go ahead and launch the... I would imagine he's going to launch the... my goodness, I can't even remember what it's called. The boat.
The hovercraft?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. You wanted a late Baron Key? How about a first item Baron Key? Good.
Yeah, I know. But it is not a requirement early on, so we might not see it immediately.
No, absolutely not. Interesting enough, one of our objectives is get Torum, and I believe we did see one of the Wonder Twins sitting there in the Baron Inn.
One of the interesting things about that is there are only going to be 7 characters. So you'll have a lot of duplicates, but you can't have duplicates on your team. Oh, and by the way, if you dismiss a character, you can't go and recover them. Very different from the Swiss rounds. So it's going to be something that the runners have to keep in mind. They can't just go ahead and, go back and grab a tele for an easy anchor or something later on. So it's going to be something they have to sort of play into as they choose their characters and everything. You'll also see a lot more looting early on because of the fact that our treasures in the shops and in the chests are going to be a little bit lesser quality. Something else to keep in mind is that our items are only going to sell for 1/4 of their cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we've got all the sort of basic information out of the way. We've got a couple more objectives to cover. We have got a 2-for-1 special here today. We've got the Troya Treasury and we've got the Tower of Zot, both of which require the Earth Crystal. So again, we've got a very nice 2-for-1 special. We've got 4, we need the Big Whale, and we need to go after the White Spear Altar. So we have got all 5 of those. Not the worst set of objectives there because it doesn't have a boss hunt on it.
No, and actually, all 3 objectives could theoretically be completed with just 2 key items, the Darkness Crystal and the Earth Crystal, because we do have the potential to get Porum in one of the 3 character spots opened up by either Earth or Darkness Crystal.
Right, but right now what we have is we have got ourselves a Octomammoth and a Cane. Although I still don't know how the octopus can float in rock like that. That's actually kind of impressive.
Don't question things.
Hold on. I question things all the time. You should know this by now.
I have made some questionable decisions regarding tonight, but that's about it. We do see that Fred is going ahead and pretty much taking care of Octomom pretty easily. Not a lot of damage being taken and quickly slowing the big octopus down. Since Natara is tracking for us, I will say that Octomom is the inferior octopus. Ultros takes a kick anytime.
Absolutely, don't tickle the octopus, kids.
And no problem there for Fred. So now Fred has 3 fighters, and immediately knowing there's 7 characters, you know there's a Porum in here. So you only have 3 characters left, so it's looking very much early on like you may be sort of edged in the direction of a physical party towards the end of the game. So I would be really considering, these 3 people being a permanent piece of your party going forward.
Well, considering what you just said, I'm hoping we find the ninja so they can edge their way further to a physical party. I can hear the face palms from here.
Anyway, we are going to have Fred go ahead and, aptly appropriate to this whole tournament, do the Fabul Gauntlet.
This is an interesting check because I know there are a lot of people who try to limit the number of times that they get to Fabul because you don't want to double or triple dip if you don't have to. However, this tends to be a pretty easy spot, all things considered, unless you get something crazy like Valvalis. Evil Wall doesn't qualify under the quote-unquote something crazy category.
No, the damage isn't going to be too incredibly insane here. The Valis wouldn't have even been bad because we do have Kane, but Fred is going to just keep on attacking, skipping Antlion Cave, which Dark Paladin is doing. Antlion Cave does give quite a few treasures depending on how many you want to check. You do have the option of, skipping over half of them that are out of the way, but there are still a few along the way that you may want to check. And then it is actually a pretty simple boss, especially with the team he has right now. There should be no difficulty with that boss.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of these checks there. The chests in Antlion Cave, the first one we saw Dark Paladin pick up there contained an Earth Hammer. That is a fantastic weapon for this party because, as you mentioned, we have all physical attackers. The Earth Hammer, even though it's a weak Quake, still gives an AoE attack. So if we happen to run into something that requires an AoE attack, we have access to it right now.
And Fred does finish off that evil wall. Apparently, one of the walls of Fabul came to life or something. And he is going to get his reward from the king, and that is going to be the Twin Harp. So let's all hope for some music.
Always. Music is always where it's at. And I think chat is going to be hoping for music too, Krim, because it's going to be like the only 30 seconds worth of this seed where we're both going to be quiet.
I mean, not wrong unless, our restreamer or tracker push buttons that mute us. But another interesting thing that Fred got out of that Fabul area is he did get a Dwarf Axe, which is going to be considerably beneficial for him when trying to work around with his agility. Having Sid in the party, it does lower the agility by 5, so that will actually provide a lot of benefit as well.
We have a decidedly less angry Noodle than we can see here at the Antlion spot, just a Leviathan.
Yeah, shouldn't be too difficult. A little slow in this area, and yeah, not a problem at all between Sid and Kane. Yang helped a little bit, I guess.
Yang was helping.
And we get a spoon. So that aforementioned edge, that would be good use. Otherwise, that is a completely irrelevant item other than counting towards that key item.
I mean, 10 key items get that extra experience, always a good thing. Wouldn't surprise me in this set of flags if we don't see a slingshot. Because traditionally, a lot of your normal places you would use to grind up experience aren't necessarily going to be there because your items like your sirens, for example, are either going to be gated in the Coco shop or not around altogether. So usually you're going to be doing a giant grind or something like that. So seeing a slingshot isn't out of the question.
Yeah, and as of right now, that was actually a good skip for Fred not to do the Antlion Cave. We do see that he also got an Earth Hammer here on Mount Ordeals. And I spoke earlier about the Dwarf Axe being good for agility manipulation. Well, he also has a Cursed Ring, so agility manipulating is not going to be a problem at all for our runners tonight.
Now, if my eyeballs were not lying to me, I believe we have another engineer in the bed. So Sand Ruby, not going to be neat.
No, it's not like we get 2 Sids.
I mean, it is Final Fantasy, so 5 Sids is always an option.
So we do have a few boss checks up here on Ordeals, and our first one is going to be none other than the lovely officer and soldiers. So they are susceptible to pretty much any and every effect, but of course we don't have any mages, so that's really a moot point.
But this is an interesting play over here. We got another curse ring for Dark Paladin, and I was going to say, are we going after the King and Queen Eblon there in Baron Inn? No, we are not.
And unfortunately, an enemy like King Queen Eblon in that spot is very discouraging because that spot is a very low HP. So you really want one of your harder bosses that you can clear out a lot quicker to be there, rather than a free fight like King Queen Eblon. Fred just going ahead and running up to the next battle, and while this one's a little more difficult, this is Odin in the back attack position, so we'll have to get a lot of damage out here before Odin decides to use his own, but he does have a Thunderclaw for Yang, which is going to help great.
And there was a Thor Rage I saw in his inventory as well.
He doesn't need it with Yang punching.
No, he doesn't. But I'm just saying, it's there if we need it. Yeah, I believe he purchased that Thunderclaw in Fabul, actually.
I mean, it's always a good decision. I mean, I would love to say there's foresight to it, but anytime I see a Thunderclaw, I always purchase it anyway because there's so many bosses that do have that weakness to Thunder that it is pretty much I would say, a necessity to purchase early on.
Yep, and that was the green cape we saw over there in the Baron Inn. So this is, in fact, going to be Porum. So we'll be getting Objective 3 here, assuming that this second boss isn't too crazy.
I mean, it's still crazy, but luckily we do have Kane to help us out a little bit here.
We do. Fred, we're going to go get his item here out of Mount Ordeals. Oh, we've got underground access. It's a hook.
Yeah, not the underground access they're going to hope for. I would imagine that will probably, depending on how the runners feel and everything, we might actually see a play at the Twin Harp, not only for possibly getting the Magma Key or something like that, but also maybe just for the experience, just to help boost them up a little bit. We don't know what's going to be in the underground, in the Upper Babel area before, getting through to the underground. So going to be really interesting to see. Dark Paladin dealing with some of the hard hits from Val right now, trying to keep his party up.
Yeah, so right now at this point, Fred with the item advantage with the hook and the twin harp has options of where he wants to go. My question to you is, you have this hook, you don't necessarily have access to exit, but do you go check the character before you do anything else?
If I'm Fred right now, I go and get Porum first, and then I highly consider the check. Just because you're really not gaining a lot by doing Twin Harp first. You may gather the Magma Key, but you may also still want to go see that character anyway. So going after the character, seeing who is at that Rubicante spot and things like that are really good knowledge to have that I don't mind the little bit of time sink for to go check. But of course, I'm not in the bracket, so I may make the wrong play there. So we'll definitely see which way these runners go. Remembering that Dark Paladin still does not have that access, so he will actually have to make his way over to Ordeals before he can do any of that, unless he gets, the Magma Key from this.
Right, and Ordeals in this situation is actually an interesting play because you have no Tella, no Cecil, no boss hunt, no real reason to go to Ordeals like you saw Fred do there. So that wouldn't surprise me if this is a situation where Fred, who I do know has Crystal Sword, that's nice, which means no Cecil in the seed, who I do know would take the time to research the people he's playing against. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a play he's making because of the way he knows Dark Paladin tends to play.
Yeah, and we do see Fred making the immediate play for the Evelyn area, so he's going to go ahead and check a lot of these chests. Did the safety save just in case, because only having 3 fighters and no way of stopping the trap chest definitely may want to consider resetting out. We'll see also what items are available to him here.
I mean, illusions aren't a bad thing to see. Those could come into play here because depending on what's guarding what the King and Queen Evelyn spot and the Rubicante spot, they could be huge. Ogopogo and King Queen Evelyn, anybody?
I mean, you just want to watch the world burn, don't you? Oh, I guess drown in that instance, but...
Look, I'm not saying anything more or anything less than people don't already want to see.
Also, speaking of, we do have an Ordeals check here from Dark Paladin before even heading up to Fabul. So it will be interesting to see which direction Dark Paladin chooses to go. And oh, by the way, that edge from earlier,
yep,
he vanilla.
He is vanilla. We also have we do have a possibility of an Ogopogo down there somewhere because that is a lunar boss in the Rubicante spot. Although for all of you who are making bad references about me making the edge joke, I expect all of the thank yous and clapping now because there is your ninja book.
And the crowd is silent.
Oh, of course they are.
But interesting enough, we still don't have a healer on Fred's side, so I imagine that he is going to go get Porum, and I would say probably around 95% chance right now he commits to that as his final.
Not surprised at all. Would not be surprised at all. The only things that may change that would be, picking up a foo or something like that.
You think the game's going to be that nice to them?
No, I don't. I'm just talking. I'm spitballing here.
And Fred did go ahead and save, and he is going to take on the stalemate fight for the experience. So, I mean, with Edge added to the party, the damage output here is going to be considerable. So I don't think there's going to be too much issue at all.
Now, Dark Paladin over on Mount Ordeal is using the Earth Hammer and a Gaia Drum and a Cane Jump to try and take out the officer, but not quite enough, so the officer's going to run away. You're not missing out on too much experience there. It's not a great experience spot, but it's a thing.
Hey, I mean, early on, any experience is good experience, so I I can understand definitely wanting that, but we'll see how Dark Paladin does take on this Odin fight, because we know that Fred had the Thunderclaw, and Dark Paladin will not have that available to him. And Fred did take out the Staleman, so he did gain his experience there. Going with the Thor Rage, only doing 272 damage though.
Ooh, that is not good. Fred going to pick up the Zeus Rage. The interesting thing with the Odin is, depending on, how you want to do it, Odin, if my memory serves me correctly, has quadruple weakness to lightning as opposed to just a regular double weakness like most people. So, and I believe there is a point in the script where you can get an insta-kill depending on the spell, but that's way far into it, and I think we'll be at Tetsuken by then.
Yeah, it's actually either the second or the third time that he raises his sword. So you're not going to get to that unless you manage to manipulate it to where Kane is in the edge when he does his Odin hit. Unfortunately, he did not do it there. I love how he dashes off the screen to the right to hit you from behind, apparently. But yeah, so we're going to see another go from Dark Paladin, and Fred is going to run back into Baron, so I imagine he is going to go for his Porum as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing, I'm not sure if you noticed this, Krim, but that Staleman chest, it had a tiara.
Hey, that is always good for either one of our healing white mages. So we're gonna get this from Fred. Fred should have a little bit easier time with Valvalis as well, considering that he does have edge to do even more damage, and of course more bodies to be targeted by the hits from Val. So I don't think Fred's gonna have too much difficulty here to get his first objective off the board.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And the other thing about the Odin wipe for Dark Paladin is he has to redo the officer-soldier fight. Now, it's not a hard fight, it's just a time sink.
Yeah, it's part of the reason that I typically always save, unless I'm really over-leveled for deals. I typically always save just so I don't have to keep on doing that first fight over and over. But we see Fred doing the same thing as Dark Paladin did with the Val fight here, using Kane to jump and break her out of her tornado form. Now she does a lot of damage on hits, so that could have been a lot worse, but of course she took down Sid, which Fred does not mind letting him sleep for a little bit. So, I mean, he's old, so let him nap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely need a nap, but that is going to be a full 5 for Fred, and his objective 3, get Porum.
So now Fred has really two options. He can either go ahead and try the hook and whatever lunar boss is at Ruakante plus a King Queen Evelyn spot, or he can go ahead and give us music. Or he can actually do Baron, because I forgot we had the Baron key still.
There's option 3, which you were forgetting.
I mean, he may just be checking out this this area right here. He already has the character objective completed, and there is no bosses that we have to find. Otherwise, Baron would potentially be a good spot, because we do have 2 bosses plus Odin spot. But considering that we saw that there is the potential for Baron to be the Gauntlet, I personally probably would have left this until a little bit later. But considering it is also experience and everything, I don't blame Fred for making this play.
Yeah, and Odin taking a 2-0 lead on Dark Paladin, and unfortunately Dark Paladin having to take the Walk of Shame down Mount Ordeals, only able to stop complete the first boss fight. Nothing to show for the walk, which is interesting considering that's the hook.
Yeah, and I guarantee as soon as he sees that Thunderclaw available in Fabul, he's gonna have what I would give a few choice words.
Probably. There's a reason they're having us talk and not the runners for things like that. I mean, although I'm not sure we choose words very nicely either.
I mean, we word well sometimes.
Sometimes we word well. But hopefully, less wording well and more hitting well. Fred really wants to see a water hag here. I know you and I want to see a gauntlet.
Well, it is indeed all the king's men because we have the gauntlet here in Baron.
Nice. I mean, considering it's, you know, it's represented by the one person in a blue robe, is this like, you know, like 3 kids in a trench coat?
No, there's way more than 3, and none of them are kids.
I said like 3 kids in a trench coat. And there was the snap purchase of the Thunderclaw in Fabul, as you said. Probably, again, a little grumble happening there. But I'm not sure if you've noticed this, Krim, but if you've seen a couple of the fights here for this gauntlet, I don't know what was in the trench coat, but I know it was wearing Crocs.
I hope one of those piranhas just jumps out of Fred's stream and bites you. So, yeah, we're getting the gauntlet based off of the sewers, so that's why you see a lot of aquatic life here on Fred's side. Not too difficult, just the major nuisance of the Fabul gauntlet is just so time consuming.
Yeah, but the other good thing is the gauntlet here, it's just time consuming. It's not like in other spots where it's time consuming and a pain. Ogopogo spot, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Fred's not going to have too much difficulty. I don't think DarkPaladin's really going to struggle too much with the evil wall here either. What's going to be interesting is if he makes the immediate return to ordeals right after that.
I mean, you've got the Thunderclaw that's going to make that Odin in that spot super easy, as we saw with Fred. I would, but then again, there's a reason I just talk about this game and don't play it.
No, if you're playing casually, you would totally be doing Twin Harp right after getting the Twin Harp, just so you can hear the music.
If I was playing casually, I'd be doing Twin Harp and then not doing anything else, just leaving it on Twin Harp for like 30 minutes.
Well, let's face it, if you were playing casually, you wouldn't even be getting the Twin Harp right now, so all of it's a moot point.
You're not wrong. But Dark Paladin is going to get his Twin Harp. Fred going to go ahead and finish up his gauntlet. Check the 3 chests here. Silk Web is the best of the 3, although money's never a bad thing.
Doing a little healing up before checking out who the Faux King is. And we got some sort of Mylon.
Original or Z flavored?
We are going to sleep in the king spot.
We are. I mean, would you really want to, though? Does that throne look comfortable to you?
I mean, is it the sword throne from Game of Thrones? Because if that's the case, absolutely not.
I mean, I don't honestly know.
All right, and Dark Paladin is actually going and checking Dark Demist Cave, well, the Demist encounter, to see probably if he can find Demist, or maybe just, you know, find for a little bit of extra. Well, there's another form of Mylon Z. The elements are at Demist.
Yep. Although Chad is very disappointed that we had like the 45 crocodiles in a trench coat, that we didn't get 5 more dudes in a trench coat with Mylon Z, with Mylon instead of Mylon Z here. So I am with you, Chad. I am also very disappointed.
Hey, TG, there's your doppelganger.
But it's not a doppelganger because he's get Sid in the front of the party and not Yang.
Yeah, wait! Yang is one of Fred's favorite characters. Why is he running around as Sid?
Old man showing old man respect? I don't know.
We do have Dark Paladin making the play through Baron right now, so not going back to our deals. So we'll find out on Fred's stream what Dark Paladin's going to get.
And let's see what we get for completing this here. We got bonus punch magic, which does nothing. And after the unnecessarily long bridge, we get...
Oh, the Magnet Key. So that's gonna be huge for Dark Paladin.
Yeah, that is gonna be very huge.
Might be a little bit until we get there, but now this is going to be interesting in another way, because Dark Paladin is going to be very or less inclined to go to ordeals, and without that hook, he's not going to be getting edge as soon as Fred did. So Fred may have the upper hand for a little while in terms of combat.
Yep, Fred now going to go ahead and pick up the stuff here in Antlion Cave. With 5 characters at the levels he's at, this is just a sneeze and Leviathan's going to, die.
Hey, Leviathan's going to give Edge guaranteed 9,999 damage output, so not a bad type for Fred. Plus, it's another key item, which will always help towards experience.
Yep, I mean, nothing wrong with getting a little spoony. I mean, Leviathan didn't even get a chance to wave hello.
I mean, that's never a bad thing. Plus, he has exit on Porum, so this is just infinitely easier for Fred to make that check.
Yeah, absolutely. Now here's the question. You have underground access. I assume you go. You leave Twin Heart for later because it's not
100%
telling you to go anywhere right now?
Unless you're Fred, apparently.
I mean, if Fred's going to give us music, I'm not going to complain.
Fred is going to give us some music, so I will remember that you said you are not going to complain.
Why would I complain? It's music.
No. I just mean, from now on, you're not going to complain. That was the word you said.
I mean, I have to remember who I'm dealing with because you will definitely take everything I say to 100% to the letter of the law.
I mean, of course I will. Now, we did see Fred try to set up a little bit for the Insta-Magnet to where all your party's incapacitated, you can't fight, and you easily get out of that that first fight, and immediately get to go to the Twin Heart music. So much better than having to sit there through all those, stupid ice. Yeah, that stuff.
But yeah, so once we get to the point where we are going to listen to the Twin Heart music, I know I'm going to keep my mouth quiet for that. I'm pretty sure Krim's going to keep his mouth quiet for that. We've got Dark Paladin finishing up the Gauntlet here. Going to go ahead and get some Mylon Z afterwards, and we are going to get ourselves some music here in just a minute.
Yep, so don't mind us, we're being quiet. All right, and Edward's pulling the strings, and he's giving us a little thievery. Because, Teach, we are thieves.
We are.
Some good music from Final Fantasy IX right there, and we are also going to see who our Dark Elf really is. You know, once Ed decides to wake up. And we got... Well, there is the kids in the trench coat.
That was 3 kids in a trench coat. There it is.
And after saving, Dark Paladin running back up to do his Mylon Z fight. And honestly, I think in terms of Fred's decision to come up here, it actually is not a horrible decision because you do have 4 fighters in this instance, so you don't have to worry about that very, very high magic defense situation here. So, you know, just a bunch of attacking and everything else. Not too worrisome with this party, especially with the Berserk Edge.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. This is nice. Yeah, it's always nice to see some of the more obnoxious fights be in easier places to deal with. And the Major Sisters are just obnoxious in the sense of they have all the text, like, here we go, Delta attack, and it's just a time-consuming fight because of all that BS.
And we get a Rat Tail, which is an additional check for Fred because he does have that hook.
Fred doing his typical dance around there to get everyone a little bit more of the theme.
Fred's a good man even in a race.
Yes, he is. Poor, I'm going to exit ourselves out of here as Mylon Z is doing what all good bosses should do, and that's dissolve.
Yep, and we are going to get the Magma Key over on Dark Paladin side, so we'll be interesting to see which direction he goes after this, having that underground access now, and we get the true doppelganger over on Dark Paladin side.
There we go.
Fred also doing some checking here in Troya, seeing if there's anything good at these shops. Most shops aren't going to have much good. Thor Rage would have been decent early on, but yeah, he's just going to exit without buying anything. And my guess is we will see him do a quick rat tail check and then head underground. Or maybe he's just going underground immediately. I don't know.
Looks like we're going to get a quick rat tail check. So, okay, quick question here for you, because, you know, we have all of the different, you know, versions of this game and places get renamed. Which name do you prefer for that town up there, Mithril or Silvara?
I like Silvara better. Hey, by the way, it's good for Fred because it's one additional item for his key item count, but that's a useless item with the Sand Ruby.
That is, and we do have a Magma Key being dropped. Woo! Key go down the hall.
I want to know who built that key that made it so destructive that it causes an entire mountain to blow up. I mean, it has to be a TN key, right?
Absolutely.
Fred did go and is going to check the Sand Ruby. He didn't come to Kaipo earlier, so he sees it is just a dupe Sid. I mean, with the Crystal Sword, you gotta do that, hoping for Paladin Cecil at that point.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because Fred has done Mount Ordeal, so any Cecil he finds is gonna be Paladin.
And now Fred is gonna go ahead and unlock the underground with his magma.
Ooh,
and we get the great NPC. Yeah, great NPCs in Dwarf Castle there.
A thematically appropriate dwarf acts in the Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what direction Fred takes here in the underground. Of course, we don't have our Earth Crystal, we don't have our Darkness Crystal, which will unlock the final 4 objectives for us between the 2 items. So he may go for the free checks first in both the Fey March and going and talking to Yang. Also may elect to do something like Dwarf Castle, hoping to get that pan before going to the Fey March, before going to the Sylvan Cave.
Yep, but we have a very important check coming up here. What is our dwarf gonna be?
I honestly could not even see as fast as he checked that.
That was an aircraft examiner.
I can't imagine that would be a very effective job underground.
Well, not until the Falcon shows up.
I don't think we're going to be seeing a Falcon.
All right, and hey, that's a dancing Bagan.
Does he just throw his arms in the air just like he just don't care?
I don't know, but we can watch him whip and watch him nay-nay.
And we do have the Fame March check on Dark Paladin side. So we will get a free item there. And I'm pretty certain we'll also see what the two bosses are at Leviathan's and Asuras.
Yeah, I mean, what's at the Leviathan and the Asura spot? Honestly, in this current situation, it doesn't matter what's there right now because you're probably not going to go after them unless it's a free fight because there are two items you're looking for and there are other places you can check that aren't them right now. Also, Dark Paladin getting a little greedy here with some of these checks.
He already reset on the encounter. It was in the second level, so he knows where the encounter is.
And rewarded with a Gungear Spear.
Not bad at all, and we are going to see what the key item is there while Fred still has his hands full.
Just a pretty ribbon.
And I guess that's appropriate that the Fame March shop was selling Asura.
I mean, it's definitely thematically appropriate.
Fred making his way through Bagan, going to see who is at our goal best spot, as well as who the character is here. And we have Lunar Boss and Rubicante there in Asura and Leviathan spot, and we have Dark Imps for Golbez.
I mean, and we've got
more vanilla.
Vanilla. So there's only one unique character left.
So which of the six remaining characters do you think it's going to be?
Spoony.
I know that's what you're hoping for.
Oh, always. Although, actually, no, I'm not. I actually want it to be. I want it to be a character that forces a decision to be made. So, I want it to be like a Fusoya or a Paladin Cecil that forces a decision to be made.
Actually, one of the interesting ones for decisions to be made would be Tella. Because do you drop someone for the easy grind once you find Dark Crystal?
That is true, and since we know Dark Crystal is required to beat this seed, because we need to launch the Big Whale and get the White Spear Altar, yeah, like that's another good option.
I would think if I would see Tella, I would drop Sid for Tella, because that would allow you to have the grind and still a great agility anchor with that Cursed Ring.
I mean, also not wrong. Looks like Dark Paladin is going to be making the double dip into Fabul, which means we're getting a triple dip Fabul if we come up with a pan. Hopefully, Sheila's got the items we are looking for tonight. Luca, on the other hand, her necklace is going to be, drumroll please, halfway to an Excalibur, which means
no. We're not halfway to the Excalibur at this point because we already have the Crystal Sword. We're just halfway to the shop.
That is
because that's the true prize there.
Sheila with the Darkness Crystal.
So we do know that's a check that Fred will be making relatively soon after doing all of his checks in the underground. We'll see if Dark Paladin makes the immediate play down to get the Lunar Whale, which will be his second. Doing Twin Heart maybe first?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to need some Twin Harp here. I mean, none of are a bad thing. More music is always a good thing. We know it's the Tantalus theme, which is, well, very tantalizing. But, you know, never a bad idea for more music. But it wouldn't surprise me if once Fred is done with his Fame Arch check, if he goes, talks to Yang, and then, well, all bets are off at that.
I mean, why are we betting on... I mean, do you really take March Madness that seriously, that you're betting on Fred and DarkPaladin?
I can neither confirm nor deny the fact that money may or may not have been wagered on this match, considering I'm in a state where sports gambling is not legal.
It's legal where I live, but yeah, I wouldn't even dare to bet on this match because I mean, both these runners. Yeah, good luck guessing who's going to win any given seat.
Well, since you're in a state where it's legal, can you do me a favor and place a bet for me?
No.
I'll DM it to you.
So Fred going ahead and making all of his checks here in the path to the land of summon monsters. We'll see if he decides to reset out of the 5 warrior fight, or if he will try to take it on. I imagine he would probably be down to 1 HP by the time he got there.
Probably.
Or he's just going to skip the rest of the chest and avoid it altogether.
Absolutely. Now, the question is our wonderful restreamer going to switch the music for us so we can hear it? He did.
I'm not talking. Alright, well, Fred is doing a little more purchasing here. In the land of summon monsters, getting a few bandanas, which will be helpful for sure. And going to check out, and yeah, nothing really great in the weapon shop. I mean, nothing that he doesn't already have.
Right, which by definition is nothing great because you already have it. Or Chocobo and Red Robe, they're playing defense.
Fred is going to make a save here before checking the monsters. About the only way I can think he makes a play at either of them is if he believes that Leviathan spot may possibly be Plague. He is going to check for us. May do a reset if it, or not even need to reset. No, that's the note.
No, what? Leviathan evolved.
So Fred immediately casting Exit, which is the right choice at this point. Both of those fights are absolutely not lovable.
Yeah, but didn't I believe last time we were talking, didn't you say you had a new name for Ogopogo?
I can't remember it off the top of my head. I know I did.
What good are you then?
I mean, I could have told you that. I'm not very.
This is interesting. Keyless Tower. So this could be a big thing. If this is the Earth Crystal, this is huge. And to answer the question, the other spot in the Fame Arch, that was Rubicante. We know it was Rubicante because Dark Paladin checked the Demas spot, which happened to be Elements.
Fred's checking a lot of chests here as well, so maybe just checking for some alerts to maybe steal some sirens from, or maybe not. considering he didn't steal. Or maybe just going for a little bit of experience as well. Since our grinds are a little fewer and further between, probably not a horrible decision to do that.
Also, I love the fact that all four of, because we did the Baymarch stuff, everyone has 1,001 HP right now, except for Forum, who's full. Now there goes that, but it was fun while it lasted.
So, Dark Paladin giving us a scenic tour of the overworld, and now is heading back to Mount Ordeals, going to be getting that hook with the Thunderclaw. Of course, this is going to be easy, but it is going to be a time sink that outside of Edge is not going to be very beneficial for him. Of course, you know, that's tongue-in-cheek because Edge is always beneficial.
But let's see who is waiting for us up here on top of the tower. Oh, wait. We know who they're going to be sending away, though, which is always interesting. Although, apparently, I'm not sure if you're keeping up with chat, Krim, but apparently using Cry makes sneak easier.
I mean, I guess she's a distraction.
Oh, that's a
Oh! Yeah, so here we have two key items on Fred's part. Having demist here is really interesting, especially once again if Earth Crystal comes into play, because this is a check that most people will not make until they have that tower.
Right. But it also means whatever boss is at the King and Queen Evelyn spot is not demist, which means it is not a required hook secret.
Pity.
Such a pity. And I do agree with Chad here. This probably, considering the speed of the spot, would have been a good place to throw the spoon.
Yeah, really high HP here, so does have to sort of whittle it away, but luckily Change Jump will not counter anything, and just have to sit there and wait it out, wait for it to turn back into solid form, and then can keep on beating on the dragon. And we have Dr. Luge being taken care of, so we will have Ordeals down for Dark Paladin as well.
Yep, and now we're getting some Berserk strats.
Yeah, Fred hoping that he can take D-Mist out before it turns into Mist again. Otherwise, Berserk can sort of make it take longer. Not because of all the counters, that, like, you're not really afraid of the counters at this point, at least damage-wise, but just how many there will be, it will cause a little bit of delay with all that text and animation.
And now it's Yang's turn to take a nap. And we do have the hook obtained by Dark Paladin, so at this point, the only advantage that Fred has is going to be the fact that he does have Edge. But now at this point, Dark Paladin can launch the Lunar Whale, go see who is up on the moon. Although it looks like we may be getting probably just getting the Rat Tail turn in. I'm like, wait, why are we getting a check? But no, we have a Rat Tail we have to turn in.
Yeah, Fred is currently encountering a little bit of delay, so we'll see what play Dark Paladin makes while Fred is just hanging out.
You know, Krim, I think we had this entire fight that's gone on very long to make all kinds of puns, and we didn't. You know what that is, don't you?
I know, a missed opportunity. And we are going to get Edge on Dark Paladin side because he is going to be able to go ahead and run in. Now he's going to have the advantage over Fred here because he will be able to exit out immediately after getting Edge.
Yep, but there is the demist down, getting a couple of levels. Let's see what we get here, and then we have a second item check. Oh wow! Earth.
I mean. So we know Fred is going to check the Sylvan Cave before he heads back up to the overworld. So Fred is going to be in go mode after he goes and talks to Sheila. So yeah, then it's just a matter of where does Fred choose to do his grinding.
Yeah, that's wow, value tower indeed.
Also, the only things we're really gonna have to do in the lunar area is, like, I would imagine we'll see the grind before the White Spear. We'll do White Spear, go save, and then just immediately head to Zeramis. I mean, there's no reason to check for a pass at this point unless you happen to get one from the Earth Crystal. But they're going to be very set up to do the final objective and immediately head to Zeramis.
Yeah, and Fred, like you said, going to do the Yang check, and that's going to put him in, wow, basically sub-hour go mode. That's crazy for one of these seats.
I mean, it does help when, honestly, the character objectives aren't as bad on these seats because you only have 7 characters and you can have more instances of them. But having 2 and 2 on 2 key items is also very, very nice. Whereas you're not hunting down a boss where you might have to check every single area to find that boss and things like that. So the objectives played out very nice for him, but let's face it, it's the plays for some of this that allowed Fred to get into go mode so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you wouldn't know anything about having to find every last spot for a required boss, would you?
Only 3 times.
But yeah, Fred gonna pick up his Darkness Crystal here. And the Darkness Crystal here is also Fred's 10th key item, which is even better.
That's what we call the luxurious go mode, where it also just puts you into the most beneficial situation. He has a wonderful party for endgame here. He has 10 key items, which will make leveling a lot easier. He has, not the best set of weaponry and stuff like that, but he has a good one. And surprised he is not actually selling his crystal sword. Maybe hoping for Cecil there at the lunar spot or the earth crystal spot, but that's about the only way that crystal is going to benefit him at this point.
Yeah, and you might as well keep it because you're going to have the 3 character checks showing up one of them, unless you're bound to the package of the giant is more than likely going to be whoever the 7th character is. So it makes all the sense in the world to save that crystal sword on the off chance you get a Cecil.
So we do have the character check on the moon for Dark Paladin, and it is going to be coming down very, very, very slowly because I'm holding on to the talk about it. And more Yang.
I mean, nothing wrong with more punishment. I mean,
except
appropriate.
Except we can't have the Duke character.
True. But that was name appropriate. We did have a Fu Soya at the lunar spot because Dark Paladin decided to mix up all the names.
That always works. Also, we're getting a few more crystal Okay, a lot more crystals up, but hey, Cat Claw's great. We also got, okay, yeah, this treasury is actually really, really good.
3 crystal shields, a cat claw.
We also got a lunar staff for Porum. Yeah, that's a good loot.
I mean, I thought the good loot was the one you got from Princess Sarah in Final Fantasy 1.
No, that one's out of tune.
Okay.
So we actually have a value cave check here on DP side. Going to see at who is indeed hanging out where Bahamut normally does, while Fred is traveling to Zot.
So, is there any bosses you want to see here on Zot, just for the troll levels of them?
I mean, nothing is too incredibly dangerous, but I would laugh actually if Magus Sisters is karate, and then we do indeed get Cecil behind them.
That would be fantastic.
Fred not even bothering with the save at this point. And no, we get a lunar boss, so maybe D-Lunars?
Give me some wyvern. D-Lunars, there you go, look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I can be right every once in a while.
Yep. Fred gonna cash in this Grimoire here and gets ourselves a Titan.
And Dark Paladin going to go ahead and check tower.
Interesting play taking tower here, considering we were on the moon, but it does make sense considering make White Spear your last objective and go for it.
Yeah, went up to the moon to see the character probably, and then figured to do the Bahamut check as well there. So we'll definitely see where he chooses to go. I mean, obviously getting the Earth Crystal here, it's going to put him not as far behind Fred now. We'll have to make the run, but Fred also has to go through that whole entire cutscene of the big whale and everything else. So all things considered, I would say both of them are pretty even. It's going to be, Fred has a little less grinding to do, and it all depends on how comfortable they are at what levels with their characters.
Yeah, and Dark Paladin did go ahead and attempt to steal a couple of the sirens from the alerts. And hey, I heard we needed more crystal shields, so we're gonna pick up more crystal shields.
And so far, we only see a Sid here in Zot, and our 7th character. Are we gonna see it? Nope, it's just another edge.
So our 7th character is either at the package or in the giant.
And there they will stay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unfortunately, since we had the ball drop there instead of the giant blade, it couldn't be double-edged here in the tower.
But I thought balls had no edges.
That's why I said we needed the blade.
And well, there's more. There's more orbs for you.
All kinds of orbs.
So Fred completely ignoring the possibility of trouble and berserking the edge. I mean, the damage output is going to be so quick and so fast that it really doesn't matter. We might see a glow of 199. I don't know. Depends on how fast he can get the rest of the CP. Oh, never mind. Edge Gunner attack off. He's good. Oh, maybe not.
You were saying?
It's Sid. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And look, he even got Sid back to life.
Yay!
We are attempting more stealing on Dark Paladin side. Not going so well right now. And somewhere, Rosa is learning Exit.
Wherever she is.
But more importantly, we get a key item that we probably won't need. Or not even a key item, we just get another crystal item.
Because crystal.
And now that that's over, Fred, with 3 completed objectives, will be going ahead and unlocking the big whale for objective number 4. And then we'll be on his way to the last spot, and then the Zermus fight.
Yeah. So all things considered, this has been a good scene. We got double music. All the objectives were fairly easy to do. So the only thing we're missing is get ready, everybody, because coming up soon we will figure it out. But we're not gonna pose the question just yet.
I mean, no, we can still enjoy quite a bit. Like, how is Fred going to grind, or who is going to be at Plague Spot? I mean, both are very good questions.
Yeah, and is Dark Paladin going to immediately throw the spoon at D-Mist?
The answer is no.
It's a correct answer.
Also, you can tell the great difference between Dark Paladin and Fred with their edges at D-Mist. Fred having the few extra levels, and I think a differently equipped edge was dealing a lot more damage at that point.
There's
and
the spoon. No, that wasn't the spoon, was
Fred,
it?
I don't believe so. But I was looking at what Fred was purchasing from the shop there, and he did pick up some Cure 3s. About the only thing that would benefit him from there. Unless you know it's Gold Bez at the Plague Spot. But I didn't say that.
No, you did not. But you certainly could imply that that's what you wanted to see there.
I mean, that would probably be the worst boss to see there, the most time-consuming one at this point.
It would be. It would be very fun.
But Fred is going to go ahead and start his dive into the lunar subterranean. Now, you do have a few options for grinding up here, especially with the, surplus of key items that Fred has. He could actually elect to turn on encounters and fight wizards and things like that here, or can just make the play to run down and do some of the encounters a little deeper in, right near the White Spear, as well as giving himself an opportunity to save and heal as needed as well.
I mean, it is nice to have that save point right there, so you can do that. That would be where I would be doing it, but then again, I'm also a chicken and would probably be, taking 45 minutes to steal Sirens.
Yeah, this would probably still be Fred's best play, to go back and try to steal Sirens. First of all, he did a few of the trap chests already, so to find the other trap chests would be a little bit of a time sink, and then just spending all the time trying to steal the Sirens definitely a slightly better play here, and is actually going to do the Crystal Sword spot just for the experience, a very good experience spot. So we'll be heading up there first to gain some more experience.
Yeah, and I mean, we've already seen a couple of more dangerous encounters we could find here for boss fights, that being, you know, Baigan at the Plague Spot or Ogopogo. So there's not really a whole lot of dangerous fights left that we could see here. This is not one of them.
No, they hit hard, but that mute bell is going to definitely help because, yeah, they're going to do that now. They're going to piggy, they're going to size, and nothing's going to happen. Except, you know, knocking out people.
And with no stop and no hourglasses, whew.
No, Fred is going to manipulate his agility to slow that down quite a bit. Is also going to switch to, you know, just change his character actions a little bit. And we'll be able to get off that size first, which is going to be a much bigger help.
And Yang, well, Yang got targeted down hard there.
Yeah, fortunately was able to get off the sides before Porum was attacked, so this has now just become very, very easy for Fred.
Also, wouldn't surprise if we saw a life glitch here.
No, if he doesn't life glitch here, I would be completely shocked. I mean, yeah, he is just literally sitting on item on Yang there, just waiting for Edge to take it. Now we have a small piggy. And we are getting the D-miss check here with Rydia's mom on Dark Paladin side, and it is going to be the package.
Interesting. You're right here. I step out and say, just take a quick peek. But Cecil, you have to. Also, in Krim, small piggy, that would just be a piglet.
So Fred, abandoning that, may choose to do the mute as well. The mute bell on top of the size here.
Yeah, that makes this a super safe fight. Edge, however, going to take a nap.
And we do have Dark Paladin now opening up the treasury, so he will go ahead and loot all the crystal items, as well as get a tiara and, you know, the lunar staff and all the other goodies. Clackhaw. And now Fred is in free fight mode.
Dark Paladin finding the 45 crystal shields, the rune axe, and the cat claw here in the Troya treasury.
And then we'll be heading up to do the few fights that we have up there, and, you know, get more sig, get more edge.
I mean, having more edge, sharper edge is never a bad thing.
Yeah, but unfortunately, since he's already in the party, we're not gaining an edge here.
That is true. That is true. Although it is going to be an interesting Zeramis fight for Fred, considering all we've got is a Porum and not a whole lot of wine.
No, it's going to be a lot of manual input attack here type thing, but being able to, you know, slow Sid down to basically nothing, you will see him try to, get as many berserks off as possible, because then it becomes just a put your controller down and stretch for a bit.
Not that we would know anyone who's walked away from a Zeramis fight.
I'm sure, like, almost anyone ever, when you get to that point with 5 berserkers, you can do that.
Yes, quad Zerker. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, and what a wonderful weapon to get.
That is fantastic. That's gonna take the berserk part off of at least one port there. Whew.
Yeah, Kane just got a free Zerk there, so that will help Fred out a ton.
Absolutely, that is a fantastic item to get there. You know, you got the life glitch, got a boatload of experience, and an adventure. Wow, everything just coming up Fred here.
So Fred is going to go ahead and save. Now, the only other thing that Fred really has to debate here is, does he go ahead and fight the ribbon spot as well for just that little bit of extra experience? I would imagine that he may be considering it, depending on the level of Porum. But, I mean, these are some high-quality runners, so they know where they feel comfortable with their characters being for that Zeramis fight.
Here is the White Spear Altar. Let's see who we are going to get here. Who is our last bit? Well, somebody in chat did call Antlion at the Plague Spot, so...
Yeah, Fred's setting up his defender here, so Kane's going to go crazy. Edge is going to nap again.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot, and Fred's gonna hit the reset button. Yeah, Antlion in that spot. Ooh boy. DarkPaladin gonna go ahead and get some Cure 2s up at the save point, and then make his way to the top of the tower, where he's gonna find 2 duplicate characters. Going to be informed as to what the second boss at Dwarf Castle is now, and yeah, that's about what we got.
Yeah, really interesting, because of DarkPaladin not even doing Dwarf Castle yet. Has not seen any characters outside the 5 in his party. Did not see Rydia, and of course, we don't even know the 7th at this point.
And we probably won't either.
Now, Fred is trying to blink with Edge, trying to keep him from taking hits, since he's the one that, you know, is doing all the berserk strats, but still taking a little bit of damage. Really has to be careful here. May have to reset again, depending on how much collateral damage is done by Antlion. DarkPaladin taking the slower, safer route with CPU here, going ahead and taking out the defender and then attacking CPU directly while leaving the attacker still alive.
Yeah, I can't imagine that Fred is too happy with his Porum HP situation right now, because that's not surviving most big bangs.
That might not even survive a nerf Big Bang, so yes, definitely would not mind her being a little bit higher in the HP pool. But once again, really her main purpose for that fight is going to be more around berserking characters rather than healing them.
Fred getting a little shuriken action in on the antlion. I love the animation, because you throw one shuriken and then like 45 appear.
Don't question game logic.
I never did. He is questioning game logic is a bad place to be.
Also, wake up Yang, and Yang takes a nap again.
Yeah, interesting thing, Fred now out of life potions.
I mean, if anyone's gonna take a nap on this, then you definitely don't mind it being Sid.
Nope, considering he's definitely gonna be your agility anchor here.
Yeah, you definitely want Yang to be getting this experience, though, because you want him to gain that agility, you want him to gain that strength and everything else. And actually, not a bad prize there at the required white spear spot for Fred. Getting the Dragoon spear, it is his second best spear, so that will give him a much nicer base for when he does the Avenger glitch.
And Krim, if we wanted to make our puns, we have some eggs being grinded over on Dark Paladin side. So get your puns ready if you want to, although we do have a yellow D as opposed to a freshly cracked egg.
I'm now afraid.
Why are you afraid?
Because you strive to make puns as it is, and now we have eggs, which, you know, just yell pun. So yeah.
Well, look, I gave you the chance to poach as many of them as you wanted to, and you didn't take the opportunity. Just saying. And we are correct. Fred is going to go ahead and take out the ribbon spot here for the experience, and that is French-ish vanilla, right?
French-ish.
Yes, French-ish. Would you rather me talk about French-ish vanilla, or do you want me to go back to making egg jokes?
I ate dinner, but I'm getting really hungry now.
I mean, although that Dragoon Spear that we did get on Kane gonna basically make short work of this Paladin, as you can see, 7 grand a pop here.
Yeah, the only annoying thing about this fight is just gonna be the counter slows all the time.
Oh, there's more life potions for Fred. I thought he was out. He's got 30 more. We're okay.
He just didn't sort them to the top yet.
No, he did not.
We are done with the grinding on DP side, so thankfully he spared us from an excruciating long series of puns on TGE side. So it looks... Is he going to make the... Is he going to make the dwarf play?
He might be, considering he knows it's Spygun and Imps, or maybe going to buy something. But what you're saying about the fact that he's done grinding is it's excellent?
Nope. Fred, finishing off Paladin, gets some good experience there and gets a great weapon for Edge there with the Masamune.
Wow. Again, everything just coming up Fred here.
So, I mean, outside of the low HP for Porum there, Fred's all set. He's got some good weapons, a Cat Claw, a Masamune with a longsword, and the Dragoon into the Avenger. We'll only need really 2 Berserks from Porum, and he'll be all set. So he may just be going for an insanely quick damage output. Gonna do the ribbon there on Porum just for that little bit of extra defense as well.
I mean, every little bit helps. So, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. We are in the way, and this is gonna be the only time we hear this music, so enjoy it.
So it was just a check in the weapon shop there for Dark Paladin at Dwarf Castle and did not do any of the other stuff. Is going to head back up to the moon. Still has his White Spear altar in counter to do, which we know is Antline, and then we'll be able to head to Zermus as well. So it's really, is Fred able to take down Zermus in his first go around, or is he going to give Dark Paladin the chance to catch up? Because Dark Paladin definitely has the levels advantage.
One, we have a question we need to ask, but two, in addition to whose butt we're kicking tonight, I think Fred's going in with a dead sit.
Oh, you get a free heal.
Oh, okay. I forgot you get the free heal.
Yeah, they just skip all that, boring cutscene thing of everyone healing you and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, got it.
So we are getting an early berserk on Yang here, getting the crystal from Sid, Sid fulfilling his one true purpose.
What is that?
That would be Zealomus, apparently.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Queen Zeal. I didn't even think that. I didn't even see that at first. Yes, that is Queen Zeal at the end of the Black Omen.
We do get the spoon thrown from Edge, and now a berserk following it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching Fred's side of the stream, sit back and relax and enjoy the fire, or, maybe the meteor. Dark Paladin making the race down to the White Spear altar.
Yeah, with the Antlion fight, that is, like I said, you saw Fred have a little trouble with that initially too, but we got enough blinks and all that with the Antlion fight. Dark Paladin does have slightly better levels, I would say, than Fred did going into that fight, but Fred's equipment was far superior. And Kane is down. And
Kane is back up. Also, this is where we will take a note to how great the zero agility anchor is on the Zermus fight. Because Porum's still standing.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So we do have the Antline fight here on Dark Paladin's side. Going with the same strats as Fred, using the blinks to his advantage to sort of negate a few of these heavy hitting attacks from Antline.
Yeah, and it's fights like these, like Antlion in these very fast spots, that scare me when it comes to playing this.
Yeah, choosing to dart with Edge just to not get that counter attack there. Antline will only counter the attack command, so you can throw in deal damage or use power or jump or something like that, and you won't get the counter there. So not a bad decision unless you're really running low on some of your things to throw.
And for the speed run, we Dancing Dagger.
Yes. And Porum is down, so now relying just on the damage output from the Berserk. Another big bang would completely wipe the party, so I don't think Fred's going to get there, though. Ooh,
there's
the black hole, though.
This could be interesting.
Yeah, now he really has to. He is in Meteor phase.
This is gonna be close.
It does hit everyone, so it is up to Yang. He is going to. He's going to be starting some life strats, or no, just securing himself. So he does have one more Meteor hit that he can take with Yang here. Maybe.
Maybe.
It's going to be really close.
Yeah, it is. Whew. I'm clenching. Are you?
It's going to be interesting. He does have a few at least one attack in here with Yang, possibly two, depending. So we'll see how much damage he can do. He has enough Cure 3s to where he can do this. It is just going to slow him down immensely. Does have one more hit, but is going to Cure 3 here first.
Ooh. This is good. This is getting real good. We've got some lion fights on the other side, though, with all the blinks having worn off as well, so...
So Antline is down on Dark Paladin's side. Fred using another Cure 3. We'll see immediately followed by one afterwards. Although that was a really good roll on that Cure 3. So does give him the opportunity to throw an attack in.
Yeah, we get the crystal.
And there's the flash.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That was an absolutely insane Zeramis fight. As we saw Dark Paladin picking up the crystal at the same time. Wow.
And that will be Fred getting the victory with a time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 33 seconds. So keep putting your GGs in chat. We will get Fred here shortly as we watch Dark Paladin take on Paladin and then get ready for his Zeramis fight as well.
And that noise means we've got ourselves a Fred here in chat. At least I think we have a Fred. Do we have a Fred?
There we go. Good evening.
Hey, we do have a Fred.
So Fred, Punchy Monk saves the day?
Yes, that's an understatement. Oh gosh.
Yeah, well, when we saw the Meteor and then the fact that it hit all four characters, at that point, obviously, you know, Life Potion is completely useless because the Meteor will immediately come and take out whoever your life. So, I imagine that you were extremely happy that you purchased as many Cure 3s as you did.
Well, I bought it way back when, even before Porum, thinking I knew Porum was there, but I was thinking to myself, okay, if I have to, I didn't have a ton of damage output at that point, and pretty much it was a case of if something happens and I get to a second Big Bang, which I did, then the goal would be to run with two people and have someone hopefully doing the punching and the other one throwing the cure potions to get through. Well, apparently I had to divide that by two, but got lucky on the fact that Yang was just fast enough to get a cure potion off and then be able to throw a punch.
So the seed itself played really interestingly. There was 4 objectives that were covered by the Earth and the Darkness Crystal, and then Porum, which, you know, was pretty readily available there in Baron. So overall, like, not too crazy, and then you made the right play on running up tower when you did. So explain to us what sort of prompted that tower play.
Tower play was I was underground. I was looking for Pan, ideally, before I went and ran through to go up to Sheila, because I kind of wanted to try to not have to go up to the upper atmosphere to come back down, to go back and try to minimize overworld movement. And basically just said, okay, I also need experience. Tower's right there. Let me go run up to the top and see if I can beat it, and if not, I still have the save at the bottom, and also I can hit a couple of chests on the way up, hoping to get some equipment that would be decent. Of course, it just turned out to be basically money, but that was basically just the hope, and ended up working out pretty nicely in the end by pure happenstance.
Did you have any questions for me?
None that I can really think of off the top of my head. Just more along the lines of when you get a seed like this and everything sort of just falls into place so quickly, what's going through your head knowing that, as you saw earlier, you didn't really have a good place to grind to get those levels? So what's going through your head when everything sort of falls into place and it's like, I don't have all this stuff I have to go look for now, I have it all? Where are you at?
Well, it's a little bit of a panic. As I said, it's part of the reason I was running through my experience, basically running through everything I could that involved fighting, because, I'm at low experience. I'm not going to be able to grind. I don't have that weak spell, so I can't go up to the can't go up to the giant to go throw a grind, because I was just planning to do that, or hoping to find a legend sword and see if, Kogel's shop had something, which, I never found both pieces, so I couldn't do that. I was still kind of hoping for Cecil there towards the end, but basically it was just a case of trying, every single thing I was doing was trying either to find characters, to hopefully find character 7 who might have weak, because I knew Rydia wasn't going to get weak until late enough into the thing. I was almost half hoping for a second white mage, so that way I could have a berserk get off there earlier, but fortunately the Avenger fell in my lap. And then it just came down to, okay, if I'm going up to the moon, what spots can I check to build up that experience, hopefully reasonably quickly? I knew I could punch most stuff down with the team I had, but just try and get enough levels so that way people could survive big bangs, and dang, got lucky there.
Yeah, we just saw on your side the adamant was at the sealed cave, so you weren't getting the Kogel shop anytime soon. Yeah,
and if I'd gotten the Luca key, that would have been my grind. Honestly, I probably would have just run down the sealed cave, opening all the doors and fighting them, and doing my grind there. So I was kind of hoping for that, but it didn't turn out that way. And once I was able to kill those 3, especially once Dragoon Spear, Avenger, whichever ninja sword I got, I was like, okay, I think I can get enough damage in there to at least make this close. So I decided to push for it.
I had a question, and I forgot what I was going to ask. I'm ready to ask it. I'm like, I can't remember what I wanted to ask now.
Well, of course.
So you're saying DP's eggs scrambled your brain a bit there?
A little bit, yeah.
So, Fred, you are going to advance on to the Sweet 16, or whatever they're going to call it here in Fabul. So you're going to be facing off against Pizza and Slippery. Are you looking forward to it? I know that it was pretty much 50-50 between you and Dark Paladin. Are you going to continue your self-proclaimed underdog role?
I don't even think it's self-proclaimed. If you go and you were to look at all the brackets that people were putting, I think almost probably 3/4 of the brackets that put me past DP had me losing to Pizza in round 2. So no matter which one of them I get, they're going to be both incredibly tough people, and it's just going to be a matter of, I'm going to probably be going in as an underdog. And at this point, if I get any extra wins, great. And if I don't get any other wins, then, I had a good run here, and hopefully things will go. But I'm still going with the underdog status because, and I'm not going to go sing the underdog theme, because I could sing the whole entire underdog theme if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that to you.
Fred, TGE is in the commentary booth with us, and you just said about singing something. That doesn't
do it.
I can't do this now. Maybe I'll do it on my stream at some other point here, but I am, this stream was definitely not me being, this was a coin flip scenario, although DP is incredible, so I still took it as an underdog thing, and I just got lucky on where I found stuff, I think, and was able to push through from there, so, woohoo!
I will say, chat did appreciate the fact that you did take the extra 30 seconds to dance around in Cave Magnus and do the little dance at the end so we could hear more people.
The way I look at it, if I was to lose that race by less than 30 seconds, then yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to trade that. It means that would have meant that DP played an incredible game, and that would have been incredibly close, and I think that still would have been a win for everyone. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. I love doing that type of stuff. Maybe I'll keep doing it. I mean, it's going to be tougher in the, as we keep going through because all these players are so good, but, maybe you'll see that going forward. So keep an eye out.
All right. Well, Teed, if you don't have any more questions, I think we will let Greg go ahead and.
I have one.
Oh, of course you do.
What is it going to take to get you to sing the underdog theme?
Oh gosh, we're not doing that tonight. We're not doing it tonight.
Well, here I'll help you out, Fred. What it's going to take is for you to go follow both of these runners. Both of them are incredible runners in this, and good streamers in general. I mean, outside of any free enterprise stuff Fred does, he's a very entertaining streamer. So is DarkPaladin. Watching him back to his days when he was Supremacy and everything. Both very entertaining, so be sure to give them both a follow. And if you do follow Fred, you may be treated at some point to the underdog team.
And make sure everyone follows as well these two Yakos here who have been chatting away here during this tourney, because they've apparently, I'm assuming, made it fun. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it, probably with some earplugs to handle some of the punishment I'll be getting when I listen back on it.
You have me and TGE, and you have Natar doing the tracking. Your stream is full of random maniacs, and you failed to call us Wacko, Yakko, and Dot. I'm disappointed.
So am I.
I know.
I'm disappointed too. That's just why.
I guess it was there. It's just too obvious. I can't just go with it. I have to, I got at least some subtleness. But yes, make sure you follow all three, the Yakko, the Wacko, the Dot here. But then the problem is, if I went with that analogy, you two have to figure out which one's Wacko and which one's Yakko, and you two are going to fight over it.
Oh, I'm Wacko.
They're going to fight no matter what, so might as well give them something to fight about.
Fair enough, Dot. You can stay cute.
Will do, boss.
You got it. Because you're not a man, you're a chicken, boo.
We'll allow it.
And with that, I think I will step out of here and leave everyone in the good hands of these random maniacs. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Fred. And we do have DarkPaladin still punching up on Zealomus here, doing a little bit of damage. The Edge formerly, or the Sid formerly known as Edge, is hanging on by his teeth, but we'll look to stay alive here for this fight.
Not having the Avenger, although we do have the double gun gear that we saw, so at least Kane is doing some respectable damage with that.
Yeah, about the only difference is he's focusing more on keeping everyone alive rather than berserking everyone and just letting them go full ham against Zealomus. Yes, I know the fight that Fred did at Wyvern Spot was where the ham really was, but regardless, it's taking a little bit longer, but it is a lot safer to keep everyone's health up for future Big Bangs.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, you've already seen your opponent done. So there's no need to play this very fast and loose. You have the capabilities of keeping everybody alive. You might as well go ahead and do it. And we are in the Rocks Fall phase. And unlike on Fred's side, this is not Rocks Fall, everyone dies. This is just Rocks Fall.
Yeah, so a much quicker medio phase for Dark Paladin, and that will do it for them. Time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 37 seconds. Get your GGs in.
Although I will say, Zealamus with the hands being like straight up there as they're slowly sinking down and dissolving, that is a fantastic sprite to have that sink down dissolve. It really is.
I'm really disappointed that we can't have Zealamus stick up one of her hands and do the Terminator thumbs up, though.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
All right. And just to let everyone know, Dark Paladin has declined interview for tonight, so we're going to get ready to wrap everything up here. Of course, as is tradition with every single one of our streams, we are going to go ahead and raid someone. So TGE, I will let you go ahead and announce the raid target and close everything out here.
Alrighty, so first things first, we've already mentioned it, but please make sure you give both of our runners a follow. That would be DarkPaladin037 and, of course, fcoughlin. And you've heard them all on comms here before, but make sure you give some love and some follows to our wonderful people behind the scenes. That, of course, being Smapety and the wonderful Natara. Show some love to my broadcast partner, Crimson Addicts. I am TG. If you want to show me some love, that's fine. I don't expect that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to be getting PK4787. There is some bracket practice going on there, so we're going to send you all there. Have some love. And, of course, on behalf of everybody here at Free Enterprise, I am, of course, TG, reminding everybody to, as always, keep hailing.